My name is Lucas, and I'll tell you right now, I didn't see any of this coming. The waiting room was empty except for Margaret, the receptionist, who was shutting down her computer.
She's still in there. Waiting.
I know.
She's canceled her 6 o'clock. Cleared the whole evening.
Has she?
Don't keep her waiting longer, Mr. Cole. The air conditioning is broken and she's restless.
Margaret gathered her bag, gave me a look that weighed too much, and closed the outer door behind her. The office went silent except for the hum of the heat pressing against the windows.
You're 17 minutes late.
Margaret told me you cleared your schedule.
Did she?
She said you canceled the 6 o'clock.
Perhaps I did.
Why?
Because the session ran over. Because it's 40 degrees outside and the streets are melting. Pick a reason.
I think it's because you knew I'd be late. You wanted the time.
You give yourself too much credit.
And you don't give yourself enough.
Sit down, Lucas.
I'd rather stand. It's cooler by the window.
Nothing is cool today. The system is broken.
Then open a window.
The windows don't open. Safety regulations.
Safety from what?
From people who want to escape.
Is that what I do? Escape?
You evade. You deflect. You walked in here and you haven't looked at my eyes once.
I'm looking now.
Yes, you are.
And you're looking back.
I'm your therapist. I'm paid to observe.
You're not observing. You're inventorying.
What's the difference?
Observation is neutral. Inventory is deciding what you want to keep.
Lucas.
You moved the couch last month. Closer to your chair.
The cleaning crew.
Don't lie to me today. Not after you cleared your evening. She set down her pen. The leather of her chair creaked as she stood. 5:30 in the afternoon, and the heat coming through the blinds made stripes across the carpet.
What do you want me to say?
Say you noticed me. Say you've been noticing since the 3rd session when I walked in with a hangover, and you could smell the whiskey on my breath.
That would be unprofessional.
This whole conversation is unprofessional.
Then we should stop talking.
Should we?
You're 26. You think you understand what you're starting?
I understand that you're breathing faster than when I walked in. I understand that your hand is behind your back, resting on the door. She moved behind her desk. Her hand found the lock. The click was small and definite.
Sit down.
Make me.
I'm warning you.
No, you're not. You're daring me. She crossed the space between us. 3 feet. 2. The heat from her body reached me before she did. The scent of jasmine and sweat.
Lucas.
She said it like she was tasting it. Her eyes half closed, hungry, holding my gaze without blinking until the room shrank to just the space between us on that leather couch.
This is a mistake.
Then tell me to leave. She didn't. She reached out, her hand hovering near my chest, not quite touching, the heat of her palm radiating through my shirt. The distance closed. The next meeting was inevitable. The lock had clicked, but the sound kept echoing. 5:30 became 5:40, and the heat had turned the office into a greenhouse.
Step back.
Make me.
I'm serious.
So am I. You locked the door. You don't get to play professional now.
I locked it to keep the heat out.
Then why are you still moving toward me? She stopped 3 inches away, close enough that the air between us shimmered. Her chest rose and fell under the silk blouse, the top button undone, sweat glistening at her collarbone.
You're crossing a line that can't be uncrossed.
I crossed it the day I walked in here. You crossed it when you moved the couch.
Lucas.
I reached up. My hand cupped her jaw, thumb brushing the corner of her mouth. She didn't pull away. Her lips parted. Last chance to tell me no.
And if I don't?
Then I kiss you. Right here. Right now. She didn't speak. She leaned in. The kiss was hard from the start. No tentative exploration. Her mouth opened under mine, hot, tasting of peppermint and need. Her hands went to my shoulders, fingers digging in, pulling me down.
The couch.
Here?
Now.
We stumbled back. The leather creaked as we sank into it, her weight landing on top of me, straddling my lap. The heat of her through the fabric was immediate, overwhelming. Look at me. She did. Her eyes were dark, pupils blown wide, her careful composure completely shattered.
This is wrong.
Do you want to stop? She answered by grinding down, slow and deliberate. The friction dragged a sound from my throat. Her hands moved to my collar, undoing the top button, her thumb finding the hammering pulse in my neck.
Your heart is racing.
So is yours. I slid my hands up her thighs, pushing the fabric of her skirt higher. The skin was hot, smooth, trembling under my palms. She arched into my touch, her head falling back, exposing her throat.
Touch me.
Where?
Everywhere. Anywhere. Just don't stop.
I sat up, wrapping one arm around her waist, pulling her flush against me. Chest to chest, her breasts pressed against me, the buttons of her blouse digging into my skin. I could feel her nipples hard through the lace. You're sure?
I haven't been sure of anything in 20 years. Until now.
I flipped us. She landed on her back on the couch, hair spilling across the leather, legs still wrapped around my waist. I settled between her thighs, my weight pressing her down, my mouth at her ear. My hand moved under her blouse, palm flat against her stomach, sliding upward. She gasped when I reached her breast, my thumbs circling through the lace. Her hips bucked up, seeking contact.
More. Give me more.
I pushed her blouse up, exposing her stomach, the curve of her ribs. The air conditioning hummed ineffectively above us, but the air between us shimmered with heat. Sweat slicked her skin, making it shine in the afternoon light. Tell me what you want.
I want you to stop asking and start taking.
I dragged my mouth down her neck, biting at her collarbone, my hand still working beneath her blouse. She made a sound low in her throat, half moan, half command. We were fully clothed but compromised, shirts untucked, skirt rucked up, her legs locked around me. I ground against her, hard and slow, and she met every movement, her heels digging into my lower back, her fingers tangled in my hair.
Lucas.
She whispered it against my mouth, her breath hot and fast. Our bodies moved together, finding a rhythm, the leather couch protesting beneath us. The damp heat between her legs radiated through the layers, undeniable. Not here. Not like this.
Then how?
Slowly. Properly. When I've got you naked and spread out and nowhere to hide. I pulled back just enough to look at her. Her lips were swollen, her hair disheveled, her blouse open to reveal the lace of her bra. She lay beneath me, chest heaving, her eyes heavy with need. I didn't move away. I stayed there, between her legs, my weight pressing her into the leather, my hand still under her blouse, thumbs circling her nipple. We were both trembling, the air thick with what we were about to do.
You're cruel.
I'm patient.
I don't want you patient.
Then take what you want. She did. She pulled me down, her mouth claiming mine, her body arching up, pressing every inch of herself against me. We stayed like that, locked together, the heat and the wanting building to a point just short of breaking, leaving the next part inevitable.
Get up.
You said not to stop.
I said get up. Not move away.
She pushed against my chest, her palms flat, insistent. I stood, and she rose with me, her body sliding against mine until we were both upright, swaying.
The desk.
Here?
I want to feel what against my back. I want to see you standing over me.
We crossed the room. 3 steps. Her hand found mine, fingers interlacing, squeezing hard enough to hurt. The desk was oak, heavy, covered in patient files and her coffee mug.
Clear it.
These are confidential.
Then keep them confidential on the floor.
I swept my arm across the surface. Papers flew, the mug tipped, cold coffee spreading across the wood. She sat on the edge, her skirt riding up, her heels hitting the floor.
Come here.
I stepped between her knees. She pulled at my belt, leather snapping open, the buckle heavy in her hand. My shirt came off over my head, dropped somewhere behind me. The heat of her palms on my chest was scorching.
Your skin is feverish.
So is yours.
Then match us. Make us the same temperature.
I reached for her blouse. Buttons slipped through loops. 1, 2, 3. I pushed it off her shoulders. She wore lace, ivory, the color of old paper. I traced the edge with my thumb, watching her skin pebble.
Take it off.
I reached behind her. The clasp was a simple hook, but my hands were shaking. She laughed, low and rough, and did it herself, letting the fabric fall away. Her breasts were full, the nipples tight, begging for my mouth. Jesus.
No saints in this room.
I bent to her. My mouth closed over her breast, tongue circling, drawing hard. Her head fell back, her hands gripping my hair, holding me there. The taste of her was salt and heat, the scent of jasmine stronger now, mixed with sweat.
More. Don't tease.
I switched sides, my hand covering where my mouth left off, squeezing, kneading. Her hips rolled forward, pressing against my stomach, seeking friction. I could feel her heat through the fabric of her skirt, radiating against my skin. Lift up. She raised her hips. I pulled the skirt up, bunching it at her waist, exposing her thighs, the lace of her underwear. I hooked my fingers in the waistband. She nodded, her eyes heavy, lips parted. I stripped them down her legs, over her heels, dropped them to the floor. She was bare on my desk, 44 years old, confident, her legs falling open, showing me everything.
Look at me.
I did. Not just her body, her eyes. The command in them. The surrender. She was completely exposed and completely in control.
Touch me. With intention. Like you mean it.
I put my hands on her knees, spread her wider, and dragged my palms up her thighs, slow, feeling every inch of skin. When I reached the center, she was wet, swollen, ready. I slid one finger through her, testing, and she groaned, her hips jerking.
Inside. Now.
I pushed 2 fingers into her, deep, curling them. She cried out, her hands flying back to brace herself against the desk, her back arching. I set a rhythm, hard and steady, my other hand gripping her hip, holding her still. You feel that?
Yes. God, yes.
That's just my hand. Imagine the rest. She opened her eyes, dark and wild. She reached for my trousers, pulling at the zipper, her knuckles brushing against me through the fabric. I hissed, thrusting into her palm.
Show me. Show me everything.
I kicked off my shoes, stripped away the rest of my clothes until there was nothing between us. I leaned over her, caging her with my arms, my body hovering just above hers, the heat radiating between us like a furnace. She wrapped her legs around my waist, her heels digging into my lower back, pulling me down. We were skin to skin, chest to chest, her breasts pressed against me, her heart hammering against my ribs. I could feel her pulse everywhere, her throat, her wrists, between her legs where I was positioned, hard and heavy against her entrance.
Now. I want you inside me now.
I paused. The anticipation stretched between us, vibrating, every nerve ending exposed. She was wet and hot beneath me, her body open, waiting. The room was silent except for our breathing, ragged and loud, and the distant hum of traffic outside. I held her gaze, watching her pupils blow wide, feeling her tremble beneath me, right on the edge. I leaned in until our foreheads touched, until the only thing separating us was the exact space where we would join, suspended, inevitable, the moment before the moment stretching into eternity. I pushed forward. The resistance was brief, then she opened around me, hot and tight, taking me in one slow inch at a time. Her breath caught, ragged, her nails scoring my shoulders.
God. God, Lucas.
Breathe.
I can't. You're too. Wait. Just wait.
I stopped, buried halfway, feeling her pulse around me, rapid and insistent. Sweat dripped from my jaw onto her chest. The wood of the desk was hard against her back, her spine arched, her head thrown back to expose her throat.
Okay. Move. Please move.
I pulled back and thrust deep, fully seated, and she cried out, her legs tightening around my waist, heels digging into my spine. The rhythm started hard, immediate, no gradual build. The desk creaked, protesting the violence of our movement.
Yes. Like that. Harder.
I braced my hands on either side of her head, caging her in, and drove into her again. The sound of skin meeting skin filled the room, sharp and rhythmic. She met every thrust, her hips lifting off the wood, seeking more, deeper. Look at me. She opened her eyes, dark and unfocused, her mouth swollen and open. I watched her face as I moved. Watched the composure shatter completely, the therapist, the professional, the controlled woman dissolving into someone raw and desperate.
Don't stop. Don't you dare stop.
I leaned down, crushing my mouth to hers, tasting blood where she bit my lip. My hand moved between us, finding the center of her, pressing hard circles in time with my thrusts. She broke the kiss, gasping, her head thrashing side to side.
There. Right there. Lucas.
She came apart beneath me, her body seizing, muscles clamping down around me, so hard I saw stars. The sound she made was broken, a sob or a scream, her fingers tearing at my back, her heels locking behind me to keep me deep inside. I didn't stop. I rode her through it, the rhythm becoming erratic, desperate, chasing my own release. The heat was overwhelming, the friction perfect, the scent of sex and sweat and jasmine filling the air until I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only feel the tightening spiral at the base of my spine. Elena.
Give it to me. Everything.
I thrust deep one final time and let go, pulsing inside her, my forehead dropping to her shoulder, my body shuddering with the force of it. She held me, her arms wrapped around my shoulders, her legs still locked around my waist, keeping me anchored as I spilled into her. After, we didn't move. I stayed inside her, still hard enough to fill her, both of us gasping, skin slick where we touched. The desk was sticky with sweat and spilled coffee. Her hair was tangled across the wood, her chest heaving against mine, her heart hammering against my ribs in a rhythm that matched my own.
You're crushing me.
Do you want me to move?
No. Never.
She traced patterns on my back, her fingers lazy, her breath slowing. The afternoon light had shifted to amber, dust motes dancing in the shafts of sun between us. The room smelled like sex and heat and her perfume. Neither of us spoke. The silence had weight. Thick, warm, full of what had just been given and taken, settling into our bones like a promise neither of us had words for yet. 3 days. 72 hours of silence, of wondering if the desk had been a mistake, if the heat had made us stupid. Then her text, asterisk my apartment. 8 p.m., don't be late, asterisk. I knocked at 7:50. She opened the door in a dress the color of wine, her hair down, no shoes. The hallway smelled like garlic and roasting meat.
You're early.
You said don't be late.
I also said 8.
I couldn't wait. She stepped back, letting me in. The apartment was small, curated, books stacked on every surface. A bottle of wine breathed on the counter. She had cooked pasta, salad, something deliberate and domestic that felt more intimate than the desk had been.
I made dinner.
You didn't have to.
I wanted to. Sit.
We ate at her kitchen table, knees touching beneath the surface. She asked about my work, my mother, the things she used to ask in her professional voice. But her hand found my thigh under the table, her fingers tracing patterns that made it hard to swallow. You're making this difficult.
What?
Pretending this is a date.
It is a date.
Your hand is 3 inches from my cock.
Is it?
She didn't move it away. She finished her wine, set the glass down, and stood.
Bedroom. Now.
She led me down a narrow hallway, past framed photographs of a life I didn't know. Her younger, with people who were probably family, probably gone or distant now. The bedroom was simple, white sheets, heavy curtains, the bed made with precision.
Undress me. Slowly this time.
I started at her shoulders, sliding the straps down, following the fabric as it pulled at her waist. She wore nothing underneath. I knelt, pulling the dress over her hips, helping her step out of it. She stood naked before me, 44, unashamed, her body bearing the marks of time and living. Stretch marks, softness, strength. Turn around. She did. I kissed the base of her spine, my hands moving up her sides, over her ribs, cupping her breasts from behind. She leaned back into me, her head on my shoulder, her breath warm against my neck.
I thought about you every minute of those 3 days.
What did you think?
Your hands. Your mouth. The way you looked at me like I was the only thing in the room.
I turned her, walking her backward to the bed. She lay down, pulling me over her, her legs opening to cradle me. This time was different, slower, knowing, no urgency of the forbidden. I entered her gradually, inch by inch, watching her face, feeling her adjust around me.
God, you're deep like this.
Too much?
Never. Just stay there. Don't move yet.
I held still, buried fully, my weight on my elbows, my face inches from hers. She traced my jaw, my eyebrows, learning me.
I quit the practice.
What?
I submitted my resignation yesterday. Effective immediately.
I pulled back to look at her. Her eyes were wet, but her voice was steady. Because of me?
Because of us. Because I can't be your therapist and do this. Because I don't want to be anyone's therapist anymore if it means I can't have this.
She moved beneath me, her hips rolling, pulling me deeper. I responded, finding a rhythm that was unhurried, deliberate. Each thrust a confirmation of what she had given up.
Tell me I'm not alone in this.
You're not. I've been walking around like a ghost for 3 days. Nothing mattered. Not work, not food, not sleep. Just getting back here. Getting back to you. She wrapped her legs around my waist, her heels locking behind me, her arms pulling my chest down to hers. We moved together, skin to skin, her breasts pressed against me, her mouth finding mine between breaths.
Harder. I need to feel it.
I increased the pace, driving into her with force that shook the bed frame, that made her cry out with each impact. She met me, urgent, her nails raking my back, her voice breaking my name into pieces.
Lucas. Lucas. Don't stop. I'm close. Stay with me.
I felt her tightening around me, the flutter of her muscles, the way her breath hitched and stopped. She came with her eyes open, looking at me, seeing me, her body arching off the bed as she shattered. I followed seconds later, burying my face in her neck, groaning long and low as I emptied into her. After, we stayed joined, her legs still wrapped around me, my weight settled over her. She ran her fingers through my hair, her heartbeat slowing against my chest.
Stay tonight.
I wasn't planning to leave.
I mean stay. All night. Wake up here.
I rolled to my side, pulling her with me, keeping us connected, my hand tracing patterns on her hip. She tucked her face against my shoulder, her breath warm and even.
This is terrifying.
I know.
I've built a life, a career, a reputation, and I burned it for this. For you.
Was it worth it? She was silent for a long moment. Then she lifted her head, her eyes finding mine in the dark, her hand moving to rest over my heart.
Ask me again in the morning. But right now, with you inside me and your hand on my skin and the world outside not mattering, yes. God, yes.
She kissed me, soft and lingering, a seal. We stayed tangled, the sheets damp with sweat, the night pressing against the windows, two people choosing each other back in the dark. The knock came at 7 in the morning. Sharp, insistent, wrong. We were still tangled in her sheets, the dawn light gray and thin through the curtains.
Ignore it.
They're not stopping. She pulled a robe around her, cinched it tight. I stayed in the bedroom doorway, watching. She checked the peephole. Her spine straightened, rigid.
David.
She opened the door. A man stood there, 50, silver-haired, carrying a leather satchel. He looked past her immediately, finding me in the shadows.
So it's true.
What are you doing here?
The board called an emergency session. 9 o'clock. They want you there, Elena. They want to discuss the complaint.
I submitted my resignation.
Which they rejected. Pending investigation.
I stepped forward. David's eyes tracked me, cold, assessing.
You must be the patient.
Former patient.
Semantics. I'm her husband, by the way. 20 years. Well, separated 3, but still legally bound.
The word hit like a physical blow. I looked at Elena. She wouldn't meet my eyes. You didn't tell me.
It wasn't relevant. We were separated. We are separated.
But I'm still her next of kin. Still the one the board contacted when they couldn't reach her. Still the one who gets to watch her destroy everything we built.
We built nothing. You built a cage and I stayed in it until I couldn't breathe.
And now you're fucking a child to prove you're free.
Watch your mouth.
Or what? You'll hit me. That'll look excellent at the hearing.
I moved toward him. Elena stepped between us, her hands on my chest, pushing back.
Don't. He's baiting you.
I'm protecting you. From yourself. From this mistake.
Get out.
The hearing is in 2 hours. Wear something professional. And leave him here. If you walk in with your lover on your arm, you're finished.
He left his card on the counter. The door clicked shut behind him. The silence was heavy, toxic. Husband.
Separated. 3 years. He lives in Connecticut.
You should have told me.
Why? So you could hesitate? So you could calculate the scandal?
So I could know what I was walking into.
You knew. You knew I was older, established, carrying weight. This is just more weight.
I pulled away. The distance between us grew in seconds, cold air filling the space where warmth had been. What happens at this hearing?
They review the complaint. They decide if I violated ethical codes. If I did, they revoke my license. Permanently.
And if I testify that it started after I stopped being your patient?
They won't believe you. David won't let them. He has contacts influence. He wants me punished for leaving him.
Then don't go. Disappear. Start somewhere else.
Run? Like a criminal?
Like someone protecting what matters.
And what matters, Lucas? You? Us? 3 days and 1 night and whatever this is?
Her voice cracked. She turned away, her shoulders tight, the robe slipping to reveal the marks I'd left on her neck. Look at me.
I can't. If I look at you, I'll choose you. And I don't know if that's right. I don't know if you're worth everything else.
The words hung between us, sharp as broken glass. I felt the floor tilt, the room shrink. Then go to the hearing. Go without me. Decide if I'm worth it.
And if I decide you're not?
I didn't answer. I dressed in silence, my back to her, feeling her eyes on me. At the door, I paused. I'll be at my apartment. If you don't come by tonight, I'll know.
Know what?
That the desk was just heat. That the night was just loneliness. That I was a mistake you corrected. I closed the door behind me. The hallway was empty, David gone, the morning cold against my skin. I walked to the elevator without looking back, each step heavier than the last, the future suspended, uncertain, the outcome genuinely unknown. I waited. 9 hours. 9 hours of pacing, of checking my phone, of watching the light change from afternoon gold to evening gray. At 6:15, my doorbell rang. She stood in the hallway still in her hearing clothes, gray suit, hair pinned, makeup worn through. She looked exhausted. She looked alive.
Can I come in?
Did you decide?
Let me in first.
I stepped back. She entered, her heels clicking on the floor, and stopped in the center of my small living room. She looked around, my books, my records, the life of a 26-year-old she was choosing to enter.
They suspended me pending full review. 6 months. Maybe longer.
Your license?
Intact. For now. David fought for that. Not for me. For the reputation of the family name.
And us. She turned. Her eyes found mine, steady, certain.
I told them the truth. That it started after you left my practice. That I waited. That I broke no rules except the ones in my own head.
Did they believe you?
Some did. Some didn't. It doesn't matter.
It matters if you're ruined.
I'm not ruined. I'm reduced. Smaller. But I'm here. I chose here.
She crossed the space between us. 5 feet. 3. She reached up, her hand cupping my jaw, her thumb tracing the line of my cheekbone.
Ask me again. What you asked this morning.
Was it worth it?
Yes. Every room I lose, every title they strip, every colleague who won't meet my eye, worth it. Because I finally chose something for myself. Not my career. Not David. Not the life I was supposed to want. You.
I caught her hand, turned it, pressed my lips to her palm. Her breath caught. Bedroom. Now. She followed. My room was small, the bed narrow, the light from the street lamp cutting stripes across the sheets. She undressed herself this time, methodical, dropping the suit jacket, the blouse, the skirt, standing in lace and exhaustion and triumph.
This time I want it slow. I want to feel every second.
I undressed in front of her, letting her watch, letting her see. When I was bare, I crossed to her, my hands finding her waist, lifting her onto the bed. She lay back, pulling me over her, her legs opening to cradle me. I entered her slowly, inch by inch, watching her face in the lamplight. She was wet, ready, but I took my time, filling her completely before I moved.
Like that. Stay deep. Don't rush.
I braced myself above her, my weight on my forearms, my body pressed flush against hers. We moved together, unhurried, each thrust deliberate, a statement. She wrapped her legs around my waist, her heels locking behind me. But there was no urgency, just presence, connection, the rhythm of two people who had chosen each other across cost and consequence.
Look at me.
I did. Her eyes were dark, steady, holding mine as we moved. The sweat gathered between us, the heat building gradually. No rush to climax, just the building intimacy of sustained contact.
I love you.
The word stopped me. I held still, buried deep, my forehead dropping to hers. Say it again.
I love you. I've loved you since you walked into my office and saw me. Really saw me. Not the degree. Not the chair. Me.
I moved again, harder, the rhythm breaking open, desperate. She met me, her nails scoring my back, her voice breaking my name into pieces that sounded like prayer.
Lucas. Stay with me. Right here.
We came together, her muscles clamping around me as I spilled into her, both of us gasping, trembling, locked together in the narrow bed, the streetlight painting us in stripes of gold and shadow. After, we didn't separate. I stayed inside her, softening but still connected, my weight settled over her, her legs still wrapped around my waist. She traced patterns on my shoulders, her breath slowing against my neck.
What happens now?
Whatever we build.
I have no practice. No income. No plan.
You have me. You have time. You have the rest of your life to choose again. She lifted her head, her eyes finding mine in the dim light. She kissed me, soft and lingering, a seal and a beginning.
The rest of my life.
I rolled to my side, pulling her with me, keeping us tangled, her back to my chest, my arm around her waist. The streetlight shifted, a car passing outside, the light moving across her face like a slow hand. She was asleep in minutes, her body heavy with release, her breathing even and warm against my arm. I stayed awake, watching the light change, feeling her pulse where my hand rested on her hip. Outside, the city continued. Inside, we were still. Two people, stripped of everything they had been, choosing what they would become. She stirred, murmured my name, pressed back against me. I held her tighter, my face in her hair, breathing her in. The light shifted again. Morning would come. And after that, another day. We would face it together, uncertain, unprotected, finally free.
Lucas.
She said it like a promise. Like a home. Like the only thing that mattered. I answered by pulling her closer, my hands spread across her stomach, my lips at her ear, my heart beating against her back in rhythm with hers. The room was small. The bed was narrow. The future was unwritten. We were here. That was enough. That was everything.